Welcome back to another episode of the Dodgeball Dudes. Today we are going to be talking about our biggest dodgeball triggers. Yep. So we've written down on our phones 5 triggers, 5 things that trigger us in dodgeball. We haven't told each other what the triggers are. So as we go through them, let us know if you relate to it as well. Alright, you want to go first? What's your first trigger?
My first trigger is when they dodge my accurate balls. Like they're there, I throw it at them, but then they completely dodge where they were. It means I'm not inaccurate, right? I should have expected where they're dodging, but instead I'm just throwing right at that spot. I'm accurate at throwing at that spot, but I should be anticipating that they'll be moving.
That's interesting because when you're accurate, like, does that mean you get them or does it mean you're good at hitting at that same spot?
I don't know, yeah.
Right? Because if you are smart and accurate, then you know where to target them because you understand where they're going to dodge.
Yeah, it should be where they're going, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm just throwing straight.
Interesting. Yeah, that is annoying, isn't it?
Yeah,
for sure.
One of my triggers. I'm like, I should have gotten that. They were right there.
Well, at least as long as you learn from it, that's all.
Yeah. I think you got to be more accurate and throwing at a moving target, right?
Because that's the more realistic scenario.
Yeah. I remember we did a training session with Minotaurs and Sam brought a big medicine ball and he'd roll the medicine ball from one side to another and it'd just like slowly trug along to the other side and you just have to try and hit it whilst it's moving. It's pretty hard actually because you have to anticipate the speed of it or the way it's going as well.
And the medicine ball, it's just one heavy, isn't it a heavy
just
ball?
One heavy ball.
Yeah.
Not the sand one, but the other one, I guess. The one that you can bounce.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that would be really cool to bounce one of those balls that change directions. And then you have to try and target that.
That's crazy.
Because that's unpredictable nature, right?
That's nuts.
Yeah. Ultimate accuracy training.
Yeah.
All right. My first trigger is when people block, but they motion it was a block. It just makes them seem like they cheated or it was something sus. So like they do a clean block. Maybe it's not, but then they'll be like, they'll look at everyone and they'll be like,
it is, man. Trust me.
So that kind of triggers me because I'm like, if you really blocked, then you wouldn't need to show it. But I understand where they might be coming from because I've had those situations where it was a clean block, but it sounded potentially like it could have been.
And then they would point at you and they're like, hey, that wasn't a clean block. But you're like, yeah, it was a clean block. I did it with my ball.
Yeah. So like I've been in the situation and I can understand why people would get triggered because I get triggered at them if they do that.
Yeah.
But hey, like dodgeball is such a dynamic sport. Sometimes you hear things that don't match with what you see.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of prove to the jury that, this was a block. So.
Is it because of just that gesture as well? It's just like, nah, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, and I guess depending like on the ref as well, it kind of gives a bit more confidence to the ref or convinces the ref that it was a block. So correct. In a way, like cheaters could use it if they wanted to tell people it was a block. Yeah. And we have seen cheaters do that.
Definitely a lot.
Shifty bastards.
It does trigger me. It does. But hopefully we're going to a more honest and respectful sport. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. My next trigger was throwing the ball and it not going where I want it. Right? Right? You're like, I'm going right here and you let go and it goes up that way.
Oh man, that's hilarious when you see that. It's just like an air ball, right?
Yeah. Like, I can see the target, I'm gonna go, but your body just releases a bit late. Maybe there's a bit more stresses, maybe there's more things you gotta think about, and then your throwing timing and technique is just completely off to the point where I was like, why? I never throw up that way, you know what I mean? Or like, I never turf, but it happens. And it does happen on court on the most intense times.
I agree. Like the most recent quarterfinals we had, I feel like you missed a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And I think it was one because you were making the calls. And so you're already under a lot of pressure to play against a team that's stronger than us.
Yeah.
And then you having to commit to throwing as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure that makes it just kind of go somewhere else.
It's true. And do you remember the first ball that I threw?
Was it like...
No, I got caught.
Oh.
The first ball I threw, I got caught by Jenny. And then the rest of it, I think I was just overthinking a lot because I was just all over the place. I did not make many kills that game. So it makes me reflect back and like, I need to train more. I need to condition my body better. I need to get better at shot calling and
it's like managing them with the pressure, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you're training in like a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So there's rarely a time where you feel that pressure, but when you go on court, you just assume that your throw is going to be, less accurate, weaker. Yeah. So you have to train with the pressure in it.
Yeah. And I also slightly injured myself and I didn't even realize it. So maybe that's also something else as well. Hey, my knee buckled just a little bit. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, it just was really sore. I think I just sprained it. It's getting better. I can run up the stairs now. Before I couldn't even walk up and down the stairs, but it's actually better now.
We have a video of you just like, ugh.
It was bad. It was actually so bad. But I'm glad I'm okay. Yeah, just using it as a learning experience, hey. Can't beat them all.
Next trigger for me, speaking of the same game, is when my ego gets baited.
I remember.
So for me, what that means is there's situations where I've killed someone before. Like I've crossed and I've gotten them and I've survived the counterattack. But then the situations where people know that I'm going to do that and I think that I can do it and then they bait me to do it and then I get caught or I get countered.
Yeah.
You know, I should have thrown we had like 4 balls we could have thrown with the team.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I've learned recently is don't ever underestimate your opponents. As much as you think you're better than them or you can beat them or you've beaten people before in that situation, it's like every situation is different and it's always smarter to use your team, work together and get the person out than get baited by like get your ego baited and then try to get them out yourself.
Yeah, I reckon you'd get better at realizing that if you shot called more. You reckon? Because you have to sort of like assess the situation, analyze every play in your head type of thing, and it's like, oh, this is the most favorable play that we can do, and then you go ahead with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're shot calling, you're thinking more strategically. Yeah. Whereas if you're just a player, then you're just taking orders in a way.
Yeah, and you're playing reactively. You reckon?
Yeah, I think you're just waiting for a call, and so you're not thinking as hard. Whereas the strategy, like the strategy master, is thinking about every single player. Is thinking how to play the next set. Yeah. So I think you'd have much more of an advantage as the shot caller. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe I should practice shot calling more.
I think so. Sometimes with our manatees team, like after Kevin and I died, and it's like you guys on them, I think you should be the one next to shot call, because I think it's the experience, you know, everything that comes along with it as well. Yeah, and like recently I feel like I have done shot calling, and I feel like I've been doing it quite well in like I feel like in the 1 to a few situations or 2v2s, like I haven't gotten like it down for us to win that one. Yeah, it is a tough gig, to be honest, because you need to know like the opponent's weaknesses and like weaknesses and advantages. And strengths. Yeah. And ours as well. So then you can have to play around with the ball counting, who's going to throw, who you're trying to set up, who you're trying to kill. It's a lot. Yeah. But it's good. It's fun. Yeah. Oh, it's very fun to see like you create plans in your head and then see it executed. Yeah. And then like like it actually works. Yeah. Oh, so satisfying. Down to the T of timing of the throws and everything as well, right? Amazing. Or even thinking a couple steps ahead and like you know that you're gonna miss this one, but then you beat them on the counter rush. You know, oh, so good. So good. What's your next trigger? Rebound catches. Oh. So you hit them. Like I don't mind if they catch me like straight on like that. That's impressive. But if it bounces and it just goes up and then someone catches it with ease, I hate that. Yeah. I do hate that. And I feel like we know when that happens. Like for me, it's when people bend their back like this. Yeah. So like they go to dodge, but then they bend them like that and it just bounces off. It's like a shell that just reflex. Yeah. Whereas if you try to go for a catch, it's harder for it to rebound. Yeah, it's true. So it's the people who are usually the most scared of getting hit. Either that or they go for a catch like this and it sort of and it hits up like that. Yeah, that's another scenario. Yeah. And does it happen to you a lot? I feel like I get caught a lot, but I don't know. Would you rather get caught by a rebound catch or by like a straight on catch? Maybe a rebound catch, because you've got one last chance to get them out before they catch the ball, right? But it's so dangerous because it's like you're sending all the balls and whatever happens afterwards is like complete chaos. It does make it more fun. If I get caught right away, it does just... Yeah, it's quite bumming. Yeah. There's like, you see it, that's done. Yeah. Especially when you put like 110% into your throw and then they just go like, boop. But you put 110 and you don't get him out, you hit him, you think you get him out, and it goes up and your heart stops. And all you can do is but watch. Yeah. And if you don't have a ball, you're just looking at your teammates like, get him! Yeah, and then there's that moment where someone can send some balls and that person that's going to catch doesn't make the catch and you hit a double. So good. That. Yeah. Dodgeball. That's such a dynamic sport. I love it. My next trigger is when people get hit and they start walking out slowly, but they still look around at you or at other people like it didn't happen, which makes me confused if they did actually get hit or not.
Like put up your hand and walk out.
You need to put up your hand. I realized that I wasn't putting up my hand for a little bit. I used to before, but then there's a period where I didn't. But I realized I should always do it now. It is actually really crucial, or else
It makes it confusing for the ref, but also for the other players if they don't see your hand up. And if you just walk out nonchalant, and I understand why, because I think I've seen you do it, because you get out and like you kind of get disheartened, and then you just walk out like with your head down.
And you look back to see like, I don't want to miss on the action. Is that guy gonna get out?
Yeah, so sometimes that happens and I'm just like, oh man, are you out or not? And like, I don't know, sometimes I could be blocking other players or you know, it's nothing too major, but it does add a level of confusion.
Yeah, it does.
Which does annoy me a bit. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up from now on.
You better do it.
No, I should definitely do it. I don't like the people that don't do it as well, so that's why I should do it. Yeah. My fifth trigger, injuries. That's a big trigger of mine. Just any injury in general. Jarred fingers, any shoulder pain, back pain, anything that stops you from just getting on the dodgeball court. Ankle pain, like, you know.
Do you feel like because you've talked to a lot of dodgeball people, do you feel like the older players typically have more injuries, or do you find that young players also have injuries
too? I feel like
too?
both. In a weird scale, because young players, maybe they haven't conditioned their body yet. They're throwing without knowing the proper technique and proper form, so they injure themselves early. But the older people, I mean, they you know, you get old and you deteriorate, and you just can't keep up, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's a bit of both spectrums, which puts a more higher necessity on like conditioning your body. Hey.
Yeah, we definitely need to explore injuries more on our channel, because it's definitely one of those things that will like either make your career longer in dodgeball or just immediately stop.
Yeah,
like we've seen people who's like had the ACL torn and like shoulders like injured. It's so sad to have to stop playing dodgeball for like a few months or years to just recover.
Or forever.
Yeah. Who's the oldest dodgeball player you know? And how old are they? I mean, I don't know if you want to reveal ages, but
why? Oh, because of it, if they're injured or not?
I'm just curious, because like I wonder if there's like a really well-aged dodgeball player who's got no injuries, and he's like, the first person I thought of was Des.
Oh yeah,
from
true.
Gorillas in Melbourne. I mean, he looks like a absolute monster on the court, and I found out recently that he's like in his late 30s or something.
Yeah, he's in his late 30s. He's pretty crazy, actually. Other older dodgeball players would have been in America and Canada, I suppose. But there are some players there that still playing strong, right? Don't know when they're gonna retire yet. But then the young ones are gonna creep up. Yeah.
My next trigger is when I turn my back. And I think the reason why I do this is because initially it's always getting the fear of catching and the fear of getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
And like I've been playing dodgeball for like almost 7 years now.
Yeah.
And I still have that slight fear, especially when I'm so close. And I think it's the fear of injuring your fingers.
Yeah.
Not getting it in the face.
You wearing glasses when you play too.
Yeah, and like wearing glasses. I've had my glasses break as well.
That is is it a psychological thing now? It's like because it's there, you've got something right in front of your eyes, like you got to turn away.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of people that do make catches like right there front center court, they don't wear glasses, man. No one wear glasses at the front.
Yeah, and like there's times where I've taken off my glasses because they've fallen off so much.
Yeah.
And like I play better. It's just because like I don't see the reactions of other players when they're like doing their aggressive fakes.
So you read.
So I just see when the ball's coming close, and I can react more instantly.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Should I play like that?
You should try. Like,
but I'm so blind.
Yeah.
I'm like super blind. I'd be like this the whole time, unless I just get used to playing blurry. But it's just really weird.
Yeah, but for some reason I play more instinctively because you really only focus on this guy's shot. Yeah, I play more instinctively, so it's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll try it one day as a just to try.
Yeah, I played without my glasses for a week. Yeah, this is what happened. Double the catches, double the hits.
No way. Imagine that's the secret.
Yeah, maybe that's a really good point. So I should invest in contacts more.
Yeah.
And because that reduces the glasses dropping, reduces my fear levels.
Yep.
So potentially that stops me from turning my back.
Yeah.
And commit to catching.
I would say so. I'd say that's the biggest thing. That
Biggest
would be
barrier.
Yeah. If you do that, and then we'll come back in 6 months time and see if you feel any better. But you know that you shouldn't be you know, putting you back because you can't do anything at that point. The only thing they do is they hit you in the back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Last trigger, finger blocking.
Ooh.
My finger blocking.
Not anyone else's.
Well, I don't know.
Anyone else can finger block.
Other people finger block? Ridiculous. When I get hit at, but from my own finger blocks.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to adjust my grip. So I finger block less, either like less hands on the ball, or you squeeze it just a little bit harder, so then your nails aren't exposed. But more often than not, I think when it comes to it, if the ball comes to me and I'm not ready for it and it just swipes my fingers, I do hate that. And not reacting fast enough, or maybe you do react fast enough, like when with a Sam, and you do get that block, but it's still like
rolls over.
Yeah, it
or
hugs
something.
you. Yeah, I don't know. I do hate that.
It is annoying, and it makes me reflect that I actually haven't finger blocked in a long time. Like,
Yeah.
it's very rare. Like the most recent was Sam's balls just hitting, just like kind of curving around me. But I feel like my blocking has improved a lot.
It actually has improved. So, do you have any tips?
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
I think also something that I need to do better is actually put force behind the block. Because if you don't put force behind the block, strong balls will just knock your ball off or just push straight through your ball. I guess I have a bit more of a mind-body connection between dodging, blocking, and just movement in general.
Yeah.
To just know to avoid it, at all costs.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't need to block a ball, but then I
Yeah.
go to block it and I get
Yeah.
finger blocked.
Yeah, true.
And then I finger block. But I can just avoid the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Step to the side.
I remember seeing a ball coming like above you, and you duck, and then you still put your hand up to block it. I'm like, what's going on?
I don't need to do that,
No. Yeah, finger blocking.
Yeah, that is triggering when it does happen. But I think everyone deals with finger blocking because it's
unless the ones that don't finger block.
like they do finger block, but they don't.
finger block.
We know who you are.
Yeah, I guess we can touch on that topic as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I do hate finger blockers. It's a sport where you have to be honest, right? Respect for the game. So if you do finger block, shame on you. But they will all be shown eventually as dodgeball gets bigger. There's more cameras on the court. People know people that cheat, and all of a sudden a camera just gets whipped out to find some receipts and evidence. So I feel like it will slowly go away. It won't completely go away because like people are just have the egos, right?
And what's interesting is there was a recent meme on dodgeball memes. Like it was questioning. It was like for no finger blocks or heart for finger blocks allowed. And like it was actually quite divided, which really surprised me because the cloth players can finger block, but foam players can't. And so it's kind of a weird mix of the sport where some people are like, oh, let's just abandon it. Like you can finger block, but if it's a clean hit, then you're out.
Yeah.
But other people are like, it's integrity. It's about honesty.
Yeah.
If you get hit and you cheat and you just don't call it a finger block, then you're not really, playing right for the game. you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know. And if you do allow finger blocking, then like at what point of the fingers do you stop allowing it? You know what I mean? So, and then if you do allow finger blocking, then it's like a lot of block with your hand and then just like counter straight to the face, which is a lot of cloth plays. So I don't know. It depends on the play style you're looking for, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I
guess it's another topic for another day.
Yeah, it is another topic for another day.
It's a big topic. So we can even interview more people just to get their thoughts on what finger blocking practices are the best.
But yeah, don't finger block. Let's just not finger block, guys. The less finger blocking, the better.
Yeah.
If you do finger block too, there's high chances of getting
Caught by a dodgeball dude. I'll do one more, which it's not really a trigger, but I just thought of it, which is, when the ball, you throw it and it lands like right at their toes and then it kind of moves quickly on the ground and rolls away from them.
Yeah.
That always confuses me. Is it a hit or is it a bounce?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would be a hit. Depends on the noise. But if it's like clean right then, it's like snug in, maybe it's like, I don't know. I've had refs call both, to be honest. Maybe it depends on the angle that comes in at.
Yeah, I think if it hits and then it starts rolling really fast, to me that is potentially a hit because it's like that force goes that way and then it goes that way.
Yeah, that should
but
be
if
a hit,
it hits and it bounces up, then that's more of a bounce for me because it hit the ground first and then it touched their foot and it rebounded up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sometimes it hits the shoe and it bounces up.
Yeah.
So you gotta, it's a ref's call kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it is a ref's call. Which I think, luckily with those types of calls, it's not too hard to get wrong, right?
Yeah, the safest option is just to go bounce because it's a bit of a tough call.
Yeah.
For me sometimes.
Yeah. I love it, and that's that episode.
Any last words?
No, stay awesome and keep watching our vids.
Bye.